Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos.
Ever you are in the world watching us in London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. Cecilia, thank God it's Friday.
Yes.
Another sporting action awaiting us in the English Premier League, in the Nigeria Premier Football League. So much going on in our action-packed world of sports.
And of course, there's also the CAF Champions League taking place in Uyo, Nigeria, of course, where Enyimba will be in action against Zamalek of Egypt. And the story coming from Egypt is not pretty at all. But hey, will they be ready to face Enyimba, who lost their opening game? We'll also be taking a look at Lionel Messi. I mean, he's winning everywhere from Barcelona to PSG and MLS. And this guy has been voted as the MVP of the season. His first season in the MLS. And of course, he is reigning in not just the trophies, but also the accolades. 20 goals in 19 games, 16 assists. I mean, what else can Messi not do? We'll talk about him. And Austin, of course, there's the battle of the bottom in the Nigeria Premier League. Aqua United and, of course, Benin Insurance still be in action. That will be on Monday. But there's so much more on the NPFL this weekend. Of course, you mentioned the EPL where Merseyside Derby, the last one at that particular venue, will be happening this weekend. Liverpool, can they end it there on the high, or will Everton end it on the high at the last match, at the last Merseyside Derby at that venue, Goodison Park? We'll see what's going to happen this weekend. And of course, there's so much on the show tonight. But hey, Okwemi is right here in the studio joining me. Good evening. It's great to have you.
Well, good evening, Austin. Looking good as usual. Good evening, Cecilia. Well, I don't know why nobody's talking about the Arawa Derby. There's Kano Pillars versus Katsina United.
Yes,
this
we're coming to that.
And I'm really looking for. It's a game I've been privileged to see once. That was at the Sunday Abacha Stadium where Kano Pillar hosted Katsina United, and I understood what went down that day. So it's one of the games you always have to keep an eye on. Of course, there's also the Southwestern Derby as well. There's Shooting Stars and Sunshine Stars as well. So there's so much to look out for. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, we're talking about, we'll start off with the CAF Confederations Cup right here in Nigeria. Enyimba will be in action against Zamalek. Remember, they lost their opening game. Austin, I mean, when you look at Enyimba and what happened in the Oriental Derby, they played against Rangers. It was goalless. So it shows they are still struggling to score goals, and this is something you look at and you're asking yourself, can they actually beat Zamalek? They lost their opening game, which is not a good one, but playing at home, they will have to take advantage. Yes, it's not their traditional home ground, but they're playing in Nigeria.
Yeah, Cecilia, you see, with Enyimba, I really cannot say how they're going to, execute this game with against Zamalek of Egypt. In the first game, I said that they needed to be compact. They did a bit of that in the first half. But when they started conceding, they started throwing in those rash tackles again that makes them very, careless. And when the yellow card started coming, they now slowed down. And then Asfa caught them, Al-Mazri now caught them to get that important second goal. Now, that Oriental Derby, I liked it. I liked the way Enyimba approached it. You could tell that they played that game having in mind that they are going to play a tactical Zamalek side. At the same time, they were saying, if we come out too much to play offensive, to experiment, Rangers can beat us. Rangers can capitalize. And at the moment, what they don't need is anything that will contribute to a dip in form. So they tried to also stay careful. But I think tactically, they approached it well. I think they also played with some level of discipline. I like what Coach Yema is doing with this team. If Enyimba can be patient with him, his understanding of the players and the ability to, play offensive and have defensive in mind is looking good in the Premier League. But it's not looking good in the CAF Confederation Cup. Against Zamalek, they need to score. They just have to score. In fact, they need to win that game to have any level of relevance on their group table. Now, Zamalek, as we know them, they will also go offensive. While like the North African teams, when they play Nigerian teams, they don't give them respect. They attack, is attack for attack. So for you to beat them, you must match their pace. You must be as offensive-minded as they are, and you must make minimal mistakes. Those are the things that Enyimba need to do if they are to get any chance to do a good one over Zamalek. I really hope that they do. They are a respected side. I thought with the level of good passing they showed in the game against Al Masry, the possession wasn't also bad.
Yeah.
I think it was 55-45. I rated them decent. It's just that they didn't score goals and they didn't try hard enough not to lose it. But I think they can do just enough to beat Zamalek. So I'm rooting for them to go all out to do that, Cecilia.
Obviously, you do that as a Nigerian, right? Let's just have a confirmation.
No, as a sports fan, you guys should stop this thing when I try to be as neutral and objective as I can. And you remind me that it's the Nigerian side of me speaking, Cecilia.
Yeah, you know, we're looking at history and what has happened. I think you will blame us for that. But before I come to you, we'll just take a look at confirmation of what's going to happen this weekend. The two sides, we'll look at the fixtures for the two sides, talking about a Sunday's game in the CAF Confederations Cup. We have Black Bulls of Maputo from Mozambique. We're up against Al Masry of Egypt that Enyimba lost to 2-1 in their opening game. Of course, Enyimba will be hosting another Egyptian side, Zamalek. And Zamalek, of course, the financial crisis, that's what we heard from one of the journalists from Egypt. I mean, this talk about the players haven't, received any financial benefits since the beginning of the season. Will that be a factor that will affect their performance on the field of play? But we know that they played one friendly, just this recently. I think it was Wednesday. They played a friendly, and that game they won the game, in a convincing fashion. Shows that may not just reflect on the field of play. But what can Enyimba really do differently to ensure that yes, they can have the 3 points and also score goals, more goals, not just one or two?
I think I will start from where you stopped, which is goals. I mean, you look at how Enyimba how they're performing in the Nigerian Premier Football League. You look at where they're on the table, although they've got about 4 or 5 outstanding matches because of their involvement on the continent. But the continent demand is different. It's absolutely different compared to what you expect to do against maybe Remo Stars. We saw the Oriental Derby. So they had 2 goals rightfully cancelled in that game because of offside. I think they will be careful and not wanting to lose any of their key players ahead of this all-important game against Zamalek. But I think when it comes to the real deal, I think the Zamalek players understand what's at stake. They probably know that, okay, when we win, we'll stand a better chance of even asking for a financial commitment from the club. So they play against Enyimba, the most successful Nigerian club on the continent, one of the most successful clubs also on the continent as well, back-to-back CAF Champions League winners. So I think there's a lot at stake in
winners
this one.
In those days.
I mean, the trophy is still there. Like, you can't take anything away from them. You look at the quality of what they used to have those times. They had the likes of Adjutes Frickmon, the Muro Gumbis of this world and all of that. But like I said...
And even Vincent Enyimba.
Vincent Enyimba, exactly. It's a different ball game now. I think Enyimba knows, come up on this one. They will certainly have the support of their own fans, even though they're not playing at the Aba International Stadium. But of course, they are playing at home, they are playing in Nigeria. And the fans will certainly turn up for them. So how they want to attack this game, I don't know what the manager wants to come up with. But Enyimba has got quality in them in every aspect, from the defense to the midfield to the attack. They've got amazing players that can, get the job done. Early goals could play a big role in this one, Cecilia. Enyimba gets into this one, first 15, 20 minutes. They express their intention in this game. We're not here to settle for a loss like we did the last time. We have to make the home count. And they will certainly get it. Get a goal or two, but it's going to be tough against Zamalek. It is, whether there's no money or not, it's still Zamalek, Cecilia, whether I like it or not.
Austin, my fear is because of what happened against Al Masry. I mean, if you can beat the other team that would deem a bit lesser when it comes to the continental football, then the bigger one, Zamalek, how will you be able to, do that? Yes, I understand when you're playing at home, there's just that home advantage. But the fear factor is the fact that they're not playing on their home ground. I mean, that's a key point there for Enyimba. They won't have their fans, backing them up. How many of their fans can actually travel, down to Uyo to support them? That's another key factor. We don't have those, the 12th man actually cheering you on.
I've said it over and over again, particularly from the time Rangers won the league. I said all the teams that want to play on the continent, Nigeria's representatives, they must find a way to get CAF to approve their home grounds. It's very, very important Look at Al-Masri in that game against Enyimba. It was the fans. They turned out. They were supporting, chanting for their team from start to finish. And Cecilia, Al-Masri got into that game with good form. Remember, they had played, I think, Zamalek and one other big team in the Egyptian league, and they did win. In fact, they got 2 away wins and 1 home win before playing Enyimba. And that was why I started saying that if Al-Masri was playing league games to prepare for Enyimba, why were we postponing games for Enyimba? You see, so mentally we weren't there. Now they're going to play Zamalek. Zamalek, of course, would have watched what happened against Al-Masri, you know, and as I said earlier, when they come to Nigeria, they're always on the offensive because they know our players will either get tired or not match them with their pace. Now, Enyimba, I've said it, in Uyo, there's little they can do. They can just come out and try to play football. But Zamalek, we see that game as a neutral game, Cecilia. And mentally, they're already winning. Leave all of these talks about financial this and that. These Egyptian teams, they understand that on the continent, they need to prove their dominance and stay unbeaten. They have already said that, look, with this Enyimba game, they are coming all out to prove a point, whether there's crisis or no crisis. They have 3 points with Al-Masri. Zamalek, they're second on the table. Al-Masri, they are top. So they will see how to avoid defeat against Enyimba. Now, they will don't see themselves bigger than Al-Masri, and that's why they will go and look at that game between Al-Masri and Enyimba. And Zamalek will try to do those things that Al-Masri didn't do. I pray that Enyimba don't lose this game, but they need to prove a point. As Opeyemi said, score early goals. Let me add to it, avoid minimal errors, stay compact, play as a team, and go for the win.
Going for the win, the People's Elephants. We will see what Olajuwon can do with this talented crop of players. Sunday is the game, of course, it's right there in Uyo. If you're nearby, you can get into the stadium and try, sing loud and support Enyimba to victory. Okay, let's take a look at the NPFL. Of course, big games this weekend, Austin. So many games to look forward to. I mean, you've already mentioned, the Katsina and the Caterpillars, what usually happens. But I love the fact that what everyone is trying to do at the moment, I'm talking about the league manager, I'm talking about the NPFL board, is, no more the violence we used to see. We haven't seen that in a very, very long while. That's what we're happy with. So whatever happens in that game, we know that everything is going to be very smooth. We can take a look at the games coming up this weekend shortly, and then Austin will dissect some of the games we will take advantage of. But we're going to start off with the games for Saturday. That's the match day 16 fixtures of the Nigeria Premier Football League. And Nasarawa United will be hosting Lobby Stars and Sunshine Stars and 3SC. Now, this is another derby that all of us will be looking forward to. Let's take a look at the games for Sunday, and that's where we had most of the fixtures, apart from Aqua and Benediction that will be playing on Monday. Plateau are hosting Heartland, high-flying Heartland, Rangers and Rivers United. This is another blockbuster. Kano Pillars and Katsina United. So many games where Abia Warriors hosting Niger Tornadoes, Remo Stars and Economy Warriors, Bayelsa United and Ikorodu City. High-flying Ikorodu City, 6 games unbeaten. Heartland also having that same run with them. Of course, on Monday, that's where you're having Aqua United and Benda Insurance. They will also be in action. That will conclude the match day 16 of the Nigeria Premier Football League. Well, yes, we'll start up with you. You mentioned the Katsina and Kano Pillars match. I know that is the biggest.
Well, first off, I'm happy now that we have games spread from Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yes.
There was a time where every of the game begins at 4 o'clock. I mean, in this same... So I think that one is a big deal for me. The fact that you can watch a game on Saturday, still try to catch up another one on Sunday, especially if you have games close to your city, for instance. But more importantly, it's a weekend that will have a lot of actions to it. The fact that, Kano Pillars are back to the Sani Abacha Stadium after that beautiful renovation to it. The first game on that top ended in a draw, not exactly what they wanted. But, I mean, no disrespect to what happened down south here, if you go up north and you see games involve Kano Pillars, Wiki Tourist of Bauchi, Katsina United, Gombe United, then you understand that the energy that comes with live football over there is absolutely different from what we have here. I've been privileged to watch Kano Pillars and Katsina United doing my service here at the Sonny Abacha Stadium in Kano, and I'll tell you for a fact that it's always a sellout, full capacity stadium as early as 11, 12 in the afternoon for a 4 p.m. kickoff. The stadium is already full, and you're going to see all of that action this weekend. Another game I'm looking forward to also is Ikorodu City. Now, they feel like, there's an energy, and I always say this,
Yes.
when a manager is messing up, sacking, there are no two ways about it. Look at what happened between the time Ikorodu were struggling by match day 4, match day 5, and look at where they are right now by match day 16, unbeaten in 6 games. So they have a feeling like we can go to any stadium and get any result. We can match you player for player, energy for energy, zeal for zeal, more importantly, chances for chances. And that's what game I'm looking forward to. But hey, don't forget there's a Southwestern derby.
Yeah.
There is a Sunshine Stars Football Club of Akure playing their game at the Otumba Dipodina Stadium in Ijebu-Ode. They will be playing against Shooting Stars Football Club of Ibadan. It's a massive game to look out for. Even though I wish Sunshine Stars can finish their stadium at the Akure Township Stadium, where they have the luxury of their home and fans. But hey, the fans will find their way to Ijebu-Ode, and it's going to be a big game to look out for, Cecilia.
Those are the ones you're picking. Austin, which one are you picking? We can see how you're picking this one. These two sides have a way of fumbling. If you look at you look at it from the bottom of the table, that's how you're going to look at these two sides. Aqua United and Better Insurance on Monday.
Yeah, so it's a weekend of derbies. That's the South derby between Aqua United and Bendel Insurance. Both teams still trying to find their rhythm. They're so lukewarm, I think Bendel Insurance winning on match day 14 and then losing on match day 14 and then winning on match day 15. Aqua United winning on match day 14 and losing on match day 15. So they both need to find a way to start winning now. Aqua United will be playing at home. They don't look good on the league table. They will try to fancy a win over Bendel Insurance, but I think it's going to be a tight game of football, and we might just be seeing a draw. Another derby we should look forward to is the North Central derby between Nasarawa United and Lobi Stars. And they both play, the game will be played at the Lafia Township Stadium. That's the adopted home of Lobi Stars. So it's going to be so interesting because Lobi Stars will try to see what they can get out of that one. They did a good one over Kwara United on match day 15. Nasarawa United were this close against Heartland, but Heartland with a late goal ensured that they won that game on match day 15 by 3 goals to 2. Nasarawa United are at the bottom. They sit comfortably at the bottom of the table. Lobi Stars, they are 16th on the log. So that North Central derby will really get us talking. I'm looking forward to it. It's a big one that says Rangers taking on Rivers United. What a match that's going to be. Now, Rangers, with the way they are playing and showing that level of consistency and resilience that Coach Fidelis Ilechukwu has brought into this team, they displayed it again against Enyimba. Now, Rivers United in this game against Kano Pillars, now check out this goal.
Yeah.
And Anyekeme Okon, what a goal. It was a stunner from a distance downtown to give Rivers United that win over Kano Pillars. Now, that's the sort of boost they needed before coming to play this important game against Rangers at the Cathedral. Now, with this win over Kano Pillars, Rivers United returned to the top of the table because Remo Stars lost 2-1 at Niger Tornadoes. So Rangers versus Rivers United is one game that will definitely get us talking because it will do things to the league table. Rangers at the moment, they are second on the log, so they will try to see, fourth on the log. They will try to see if they beat Rivers United at the Cathedral, what it will do to their league campaign. That's it. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're having fun talking about the Nigeria Premier Football League. Let's go on this quick break now. When we come back, who can quench the fire of Lionel Messi? I don't know. I know I can't quench it. We'll talk about it when we come back. Stay.
Pack your bags Betano is giving you the chance to win an all-expenses paid trip to the UK. Play with Betano and watch live the big game of Aston Villa versus Tottenham at the iconic Villa Park. Ready for an unforgettable football experience? Betano, proud partner of Aston Villa.
There are places you would like to go. There are faces you would like to see.
My palm is bruised. It's a tiny scar, but it's very painful.
Too many exciting things happening all at once.
Sometimes I've always loved playing the villain.
But you can't be everywhere. Guess what? Yes, we can. Your favorite lifestyle content lives here. Let us be your eyes and ears here on Entertainment News on Channels Television.
Pack your bags. Betano is giving you the chance to win an all-expenses paid trip to the UK. Play with Betano and watch live the big game of Aston Villa versus Tottenham at the iconic Villa Park. Ready for an unforgettable football experience? Betano, proud partner of Aston Villa.
Welcome back, Sports Tonight, on your award-winning sports-loving Channels Television. We're taking a look at matchday 16 of the Nigeria Premier Football League. And gracious goodness, we've got juicy fixtures to look forward to. There's the South-South Derby, there's the North Derby, there's the North-Central Derby, and there's also the Southwest Derby. And there's that big one between Rangers and Rivers United. Cecilia, you made a very good point. You said that we're hoping we don't get to see security issues on matchday 16 because that fixture between Kano Pillars and Katsina United always generates drama. We saw a bit of drama when Rivers United took on Kano Pillars. We saw the fans try to create a bit of something that we didn't like, but thank goodness that it didn't happen. But this is a call to the NPFL officials and organizers. You know that this fixture always gets us talking about something else other than football. They should find a way to make sure they control it properly before kickoff.
Yeah, they should have more security. I think what happened in that Rivers United case was, I think, is the Ahmed Musa effect. So the fans ran onto the beach to kind of, seen their hero live. They haven't seen him. Most of them didn't have opportunity to watch him, at Super Eagles games because they had to travel to Uyo, and sometimes when they were playing in Abuja and everything. So for them to see him live in their hometown, the first fan who ran onto the pitch to almost carry him up, I thought it was one of the players, but somehow they were able to resolve it. And at the end of the day, they carried him up, and when the way they carried him on their shoulders, as if they would just want a trophy, like it was the coach who just wanted a trophy for them. I like it, but we can't have fans actually coming, encroaching.
Yes, Cecilia, let me just add before we move on with this. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. That the NPFL should have found a way to leverage on Ahmed Musa's presence in the league. If possible, create side attractions that maybe meet and greet before or even after the games, or something, yes. Way leverage, make money off Ahmed Musa's presence in the Premier League, because the fans have shown you that they love their superstars, and that's why I was saying bring more. There's Shehu Abdullahi in the mix now. I like how Rabiu Ali is also giving us that legendary status. We want Brown Ideye. Brown Ideye has been training with Rivers United. Something to make them come into the league, just so we can see this sort of special superstar effect Ahmed Musa has brought to it. Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. I think, I don't know if you have something to say, but I think we have to move on from here, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just feel that
the Messi's effect.
That's enough to sell the league. Musa is coming back into the league. That's enough to market the league to anybody that wants to come put their money on it. So it's simple. You've seen how Ahmed Musa made it. It's taking the league to a whole new level. And they went to the defending champions. They were able to get a 4-3 victory in that game. Ahmed Musa was running the defenders ragged. They struggled to match up with his pace. I don't know what we have or what we need to sell the league again. If we cannot leverage on the national team captain, our record World Cup goal scorer, I don't know what else we need again.
Yeah, well, as the winning, we have him already right here with us. All right, let's move on from this and quickly talk about Lionel Messi. I mean, also mention this man. How do you describe him? He played 19 games. We'll repeat again, 19. 19. He scored 20 goals and he made 16 assists. It simply means goals contribution happens to be 36 in 19 games, and he is 37. I mean, I just sometimes, people talk about him and Cristiano Ronaldo. I think we should be happy that we watch these guys play, really. We hear the story of Pele and some other big-time players, but watching history, unfold before you is great. And one thing I want to take away from MLS, what they did here, they brought Inter Miami's academy boys to actually celebrate with him. We didn't have so much of the bigger people. They brought these kids to look at Messi. I mean, this is someone you should look up to. How great is this?
It's an amazing time to be alive. I think we've had this conversation on this show before. I mean, I would count myself lucky that I was alive when I saw Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal dominate men's tennis, and maybe at some point also Andy Murray. I'm alive to see the Williams sisters dominate female tennis. I'm alive to see Messi, Ronaldo, and I just want to enjoy the moment. I don't key into the rivalry. I don't know who is the greatest, who is not. I just love football. And if you look at what Messi has done, now let's talk about the star power. Look at the viewership of the MLS before Messi joined in. Look at what it is right now. That was what we felt Ahmed Musa should be. They should use Ahmed Musa to do in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Look at Lionel Messi, 36 goals contribution. Have you wondered why Inter Miami will be playing at the FIFA World Club Cup? That's why it is the Messi effect, because they need him to sell that league. It's a rebranded format of the competition that will now come on once in 4 years, and you need Lionel Messi to get into the mix. Apart from the fact that he's a role model, is the fact that look at how many superstars also attracted to the MLS. It used to be the David Beckham show at some point, the Chicharito show at some point. But look at Messi right now. There's Jordi Alba, there's Sergio Busquets, there's Luis Suarez. There's so many other superstars looking into the MLS, no longer a retirement home like people used to call the MLS. It is now the league where the elite also want to play. That is the Messi effect. Whatever Messi gets going forward, Cecilia, and I've always said it, whether he won the last World Cup or not, whether I won the Copa America or not, the fact that Lionel Messi is Lionel Messi, it shows that everyone should just sit back, relax, and enjoy the next couple of years that Messi will be playing. Because whether you like it or not, maybe till 40, maybe 3 more years, 4 more years, and now go back and start watching videos and pictures. So leave all of the rivalry. Let us enjoy what Lionel Messi does for club and country. How do you even play 19 games and have 36 goal contributions? How do you do that?
Madness. Okay, that's what that's what stars are made of, like legends. That's what they're made of. Also, people talking about Inter Miami being picked and everything. Yes, they have their reservation, but take a look at what Inter Miami did. No team in the MLS have ever had 74 points, in the regular season. But when they went into the playoffs, they were stunned in the first round, the opening round, and they were gone. But then what they've done was done in that regular season, getting the supporters shield, which is to some of the fans bigger than the MLS Cup, because you're playing a full stretch a season and you're coming up with 74 points, historic for them.
Fantastic, and it's the Messi effect. I was at the Albright Stadium to see the 2022 World Cup final between Argentina and France, and got an opportunity to watch Messi up close. And I felt fulfilled with my career, just seeing the aura that this man brings to football. I was telling you the other day on the show that football loves Messi. It's not about Messi loving football. Football looks at Messi and adores Messi. Because if you check the things Messi does, I was watching him on TV. I said, no, the cameras make this guy slow. The cameras don't do justice to his leg movements, to his antics, to his talents, to his skills. It's just too much. You need to watch Messi in real life and you will understand what I'm talking about. What a player. 20 goals, 16 assists. played 19 games in regular season, and that's because of injuries. He got that limitation. This is a man that, because of him, FIFA is looking every day, every avenue to sell football and make money off Messi before he calls it quit. And I was looking at Rabiu Ali, 44. Rabiu Ali is genuinely playing football like this. We might just see Messi till 50. Let's just wake up. Let's get ready, you know, because see, I'm not joking. You see how competitive he is, even for Argentina. You see the relevance he still has. I was telling somebody, I said, so you think if FIFA gives Messi the FIFA Best Award now and we all start crying, you think it will hurt FIFA? They've used another venue again to sell football to gain traction because it is Messi. The guy is close. You know, I was telling you guys when our guys in the NBA perform, I think I said testing for the alien DNA. I've gone beyond testing Messi. Just test him to confirm that he is the one that we call football.
Okay, should we name this? Should we call football? No more football, just say Messi. We're talking about football, just mention Messi. And we know that, yes, you mean football. Yeah, I love that. Maybe the Americans can actually do something about that. I know history is going to happen when he retires from the MLS. I believe that's when he's going to hang up his boots. Yes, okay, let's leave Messi because I know we can do a show with Messi because there's so much about him. But we have to go to the English Premier League. So many games to look forward to this weekend. Starting off with Liverpool, the Merseyside derby, Austin. What is happening, you know, right there in the UK? Everton are going to be leaving Goodison Park. But before we, focus on that Liverpool and of course Everton leaving Goodison Park to another venue, let's run through the games to expect this weekend. We're starting off with Saturday's fixtures. Of course, that is where you're starting off with. This will welcome everyone to the Premier League this weekend. Talking about Liverpool and Everton. Aston Villa and Southampton will be in action. Brentford and Newcastle. You also have Crystal Palace and Manchester City, and Manchester United hosting Nottingham Forest, who Manchester City beats 3-1. We move on to games for Sunday. That's where we have Fulham hosting Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal will have to be careful. It will be Dio is in action. I mean, he's doing something wonderful. I mean, he scored 2 goals. He started the move and he ended it. And then 3-1, of course, that's the victory they got against Brighton midweek. Ipswich will host Bournemouth, who beats Tottenham by lone goal. Leicester City, they're back to winning ways. They won at the weekend, but then they're hosting Brighton, who lost to Fulham. Can they continue with Ruud van Nistelrooy in charge? That's the big question you need to ask them. Of course, wrapping up with Tottenham and Chelsea. I mean, London derby. So, Austin, we're starting off with the Merseyside derby. I mean, whenever it's coming up, you know, the hostility of the fans. The fact that Liverpool right now, you can't even see their back. They're flying. It's hard to catch up with them. But then, when it comes to derby, you know, form and everything you can think of are out of the window.
And this is Everton at home, so it means a lot to them. The last game they'll be playing at Goodison Park, unless they get to meet Liverpool in maybe the FA Cup before they move to their magnificent new stadium at Bramley Moor-Dock next season. Everton, I think they did just enough in their last game. Liverpool were pushed so hard by in their last game against Newcastle. So they might just see this one as something that they need to prove a point to bounce back. I like the fact that Mo Salah did enough to prove a point that, look, he's still loyal to the team. He can still play football for Liverpool despite the contract issues going on. For Everton, they will try so hard to create memories at Goodison Park before they say goodbye to it. So that's a special moment for the fans, for the club, for the players. Let me let you guys know that Goodison Park hosted the first derby between Everton and Liverpool 130 years ago. So with this history, they'll say, okay, we hosted the first one. Let's see if we can win this one and use it to, you know, keep the records intact. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a beautiful game of football. There's been some news about storm alerts. I just hope that nothing spoils it. Security is also top-notch for this one because the Merseyside derby comes with a lot of drama also. But I know that there will be good football on display, Cecilia.
So let's listen to Slots, you know, and Slots talking ahead of this game before Okoyemi reacts to this.
It's going to be special for everyone, for all the fans that are involved, for the players that are involved, and as well for the managers. To be part of this game is already special. Then to be part of the last one in Goodison Park makes it probably even more special. But yeah, it's only a nice experience if the result goes your way. So that is where we are focusing on most. I never speak about 3 points before a game. You can only talk about this after the game, especially if you face a team like Everton that have done so well in the last 3 or 4 games, 3 clean sheets, a very good game during the week against Wolves. So yeah, we know we have to be ready for a tough game against a good side, against a well-managed side as well. So and probably the fans will be loud. I would say maybe just as loud as the Newcastle ones, but probably these ones are even going to be louder. So we have to be prepared for everything for this game.
Yeah, prepare for this game. He has lost just 1 game. That was Nottingham Forest. Also draw against Newcastle. Salah scoring twice. 21 games in charge. You know, I mean, he's had a very perfect record against Everton. Will they just bet the one where he's going to drop those points? He has been a massive for a long time.
It's going to be a big game, no doubt about that, Cecilia. They last at the Goodison Park, and Everton got a win the last time out at the reverse fixture last season, so they probably want to fancy their chance. And I'm sure they look at that Newcastle game and say, why not? We could get a draw. If not, we could get a win. The motivation should be different. Things should be better right now. You look at Newcastle, you're Liverpool, you're asking yourself, no Liverpool fan, and I say this, no Liverpool fan actually saw where they are right now. Yeah. Slot has slotted in effortless around field, and he's doing an amazing job. He's topping the Premier League, topping the Champions League as well. But it's a derby, just like you said, and it could go either ways. But I look at Everton and I'm like, why not? You can take a point out of Liverpool, and then you come out chest high, and you have the bragging rights, and you're like, we've done this one, the first and the last after 130 years. There's so much at stake tomorrow. For slots, the whole Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk contract issue, and I think Salah had continued to show that he deserves anything he's asking for. Maybe 2 years with the option of another. He gets all of the mega deal. Yeah. He's playing fantastic game of football right now. 15 goals, 12 assists. And look at where we are right now. It's just about match day. Match day what? I think it should be match day 15 or thereabouts. So it's going to be tough for Liverpool not to give Salah what he's asking for. Give me good money. And he's not hiding it. And he's not just talking about the new money he's asking for. He's also giving you the reason why you should give him the money. I'm giving you goals. I'm giving you assists. I'm creating problem for the opponent, both at the domestic front, both in Europe. Yeah. Why wouldn't you give me money? Put your money where your mouth is. I'm worth every penny I'm asking for. Otherwise, if Saudi Arabia comes calling, every transfer record in Saudi Arabia could be chartered. And you know, by January, Salah can speak to clubs outside of England. And that could be a game changer if this is not sorted as quick as possible.
I think they need to do that because he's actually, he's responsible for their current form. 21 games, 2 draws, and just 1 loss. Austin, let's quickly move on to Manchester United. I mean, what's up with them?
You know, Manchester United, the fans are staying optimistic with new manager Ruben Amorim. You know, after that defeat to Arsenal, he came out to say now he knows that the Premier League is difficult and that there's quality everywhere. I told him, calm down, Ruben. You haven't really played some teams. There are some small teams that you play and they can stun you. And one of them is Nottingham Forest, and that's the team they will be taking on. So would like to see if Manchester United can do anything different. Forest lost their last game to Manchester City. Unfortunately, they will be going back to Manchester again to play Manchester United. But some locals supporting Manchester United seem to like the approach Amorim has brought into the team. There's another divide that says, hey, it's too early, not now. So let's listen to some of the points coming out of this big game between Manchester United and Nottingham Forest. And before you say, what do you mean by big game? Go take a look at Nottingham Forest this season.
More or less, yes. You have an idea, but then we have the problems that players returning without training, and then you have to manage the load. So we have always the same problem, and then you have to imagine and to understand what kind of player you have. Like Bruno Fernandes, you feel it against Arsenal. In the end, he was a little bit tired, but you know that he is going to recover very well. If you think about Manuel Ugarte, I know him for so long. I know that sometimes he needs a little bit more time. So we are in that process to know the players and try to manage that. But we are getting closer to an idea, yes. That is a key point for us. And we have to understand our supporters. Just in 2 weeks, in 4 matches, you can understand that they just want to see effort. In the first moment, they just want to see effort. Then they want to win games. And after a while, with effort in winning games, they will want to see a very dominant team. And then this is the phases that we have to follow. This one is the easy one, is that effort, full sprint back, full sprint forward. And that is a key point for us. So our focus is a lot on that. Johnny is still not training. Victor returned to training, but is not available for tomorrow. Maybe in the next game he'll be available. Licha and Kobe Minu returning for the team, so we are prepared for the game.
So that's Manchester United new manager Ruben Amorim giving an assessment of his team before that game against Nottingham Forest. Now, Okwemi, I'll just let you say something about Amorim and this Manchester United team in 1 minute before we listen to Mikel Arteta.
I think the baptism would come. You should expect it. At times, it will be tough. That was his first loss in 2024 as a manager. Talking about Ruben Amorim to Arsenal, and you could give all of the excuses from corner, from this. This is Premier League, arguably the best league in the world, the most watched league in the world. You can have a good game against Man City and mess up against Ipswich. You can have a good afternoon against Liverpool and struggle against Fulham. And I think he's beginning to feel it, although he's talking too much. He gives interview almost every other market day, and I'm wondering, bro, you need to get up on the pitch and get your guys playing.
He knows his first 11, which is important. It's so funny to understand that Manchester United has 13th and Nottingham Forest are 7th. Okay, now I understand why Austin talked about
it's a big match.
It's a big match. Mikel Arteta is up next. Let's listen to him.
Well, we want to be the kings of everything. On set pieces, the best in the world. High press, the best in the world. Attacking open spaces, the best in the world. Best atmosphere in the stadium, and the best. The best at everything. Before it was about we didn't score enough. We were soft defending. We didn't have mentality. We weren't physical enough. We could not challenge the top teams. 22 years, 17 years, 20 years without winning away from home in big matches. We want to be the best at everything. We want to have the best academy, the best individual development for players, the best of the best. Recruit the best players, best coaches. That's the aim. Well, they work like with any other kind of finishing. Constantly, we want to be a threat from everything that we do, and we have to take every opportunity to make it count and be a threat. Adapt the players' qualities to the team needs and how we can exploit the qualities that we have within the squad in the best possible way. It's all about the players. Every tactic, every decision, every position in the pitch is towards that.
Austin, how bullish is Arteta? I mean, he wants to be the best in everything, defending well, everything you can think of. But they're third, Chelsea second, and Liverpool still topping.
It's about time, We've been saying we want to see this Arsenal team show some workings. The days of cha-cha-cha over because he's already looking old on the job, and they've been able to keep their top players. In fact, they even consolidated upon it, brought good players, and then the guys are beginning to click now. Whether or not they're doing well with the set pieces, Arsenal seems to be playing good football from open play, and I know they can compete for the league title. But this is a potential banana peel for Arsenal because they didn't win this game last season, guys. Let's not forget. So for someone is quick to say, it's Fulham. Fulham is also playing good football at the moment. Alex Iwobi, our man, is on good form. So let's see what they can do at Craven Cottage. But I believe that the Gunners can do just enough when they look at the league table and see how Chelsea is breathing down their neck, see the consistency of Liverpool, know very well that Manchester City will wait for any opportunity to get back to where they belong on the league table. So that's it, Cecilia, from me in London. Austin Okonakpan, in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Yeah, but we won't leave without quickly talking about Chelsea. Chelsea, Tottenham. That's something you look forward to. You mentioned Tottenham rob the rich, right?
And give to the poor.
Give to the poor, yeah.
Very inconsistent.
So
they defeated Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium by 4-0, and then the next game they drew, and then the next game they lost. And you're wondering, it's a derby actually, it's a London derby, and it's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and you just can't tell. Tottenham can just take the 3 point off, Chelsea, and then they go to lose their next game again. But it's going to be a very tricky game for Tottenham Hotspur, Cecilia. Very tricky game.
Very tricky. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We have to go.
Thank you for having me, and have a beautiful weekend, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Have a good night rest.